Hi, this is Tim, Customer Success Manager here at Qvinci. I'm here today to talk about a new feature lots of you have asked for called Freeze Panes that will allow you to repeat account names and column headers on all pages of a report. Those of you who have built lengthy reports have probably found it quite frustrating when you have a long report such as this one where the first page is clear and easy to read, but then you get down to subsequent pages and we have no idea what's in the columns here. Get further down, we have no idea which accounts are listed over here. And even worse, pages such as this one without headers or account names, and we have no idea what these numbers are. So now I have a solution for this, and all we'll need is our Qvinci login. So let's get started. So I have my report template open, and depending on the size of your report, you may need to have just the column headers up at the top repeat. You may need to have just the account names here in the first column repeat, or in our case, you may really need to have both of them repeating on all subsequent pages. First, though, I'm going to show you how to repeat just the column headers here. And for each of these options, we're going to go to the feature bar across the top here, and we need to use the freeze panes option. And depending on your display settings, that's probably hidden underneath this arrow at the far right. As you can see, it is on my display down here at the bottom. But before we go to freeze panes, the cursor selection here is really important. Before we go to freeze rows, we need to have the cursor just below what is repeating on the subsequent pages, in this case the column headers. So we want to go just below those headers that need to repeat. Then we'll go to freeze panes over here. We'll see a few options here. So we want the column headers to repeat, and because they're all in one row, we're actually going to go to freeze rows. And you can see this added a black line that divides two panes now, and everything in the top pane is what's going to repeat on subsequent pages. So let's go ahead and save these two panes. And let's go to our package and let's download a copy of the package to view this in action. One thing that's important to note here, we do need to change the package options, so we'll click on the report that we're working with, and you do need to turn off the fit to width option here for this to work. So for me, it's already turned off. If this is checked for you, you'll need to uncheck it and hit save first. We'll go ahead and download a copy of this package. And you should see that the column headers repeat on each page for us. Looks like they do, and our report is already a bit easier to read. And while it's great that we have these column headers on each page now, we can see this report is still not very useful without the account names, as we still don't know what all of these numbers are referring to. So let's go back to our template, and this time we want to freeze the account names in this first column here. Again, the cursor placement is very important. This time we want to place the cursor just to the right of the column that should be repeating. So in this case, we want to go just to the right of our account names. We'll go back to freeze panes. And since the account names are all in one column, we want to go to freeze column. You'll see we add another black line, and everything just to the left of this will repeat on subsequent pages now. So we'll save our template once more. We'll download another copy, making sure that fit to width is still turned off. And we should see that both the account names and the column headings are repeated on every page. And it looks like they are. We now have a report that is actually readable. So we just learned how to repeat both the column headers and how to repeat the account names in 2 separate steps. And you might be thinking, well, wouldn't it be great if I could do both at once? And the great news is that you can. Again, here the cursor placement is very important. So if we want to freeze both a particular row with the column headers and a particular column at the same time, we need to be just below the row that needs to be repeating. So we need to be below the column headers here. And we need to be just to the right of the column that should be repeating. So in this case, we want to be right here. So we'll repeat everything here and here. We'll go back to freeze panes. And we'll choose freeze panes again, and you can see that creates our top pane to repeat our column headers, and it adds a left pane to repeat our account names here. So we'll save our template once more, come back to our package, make sure fit to width is still turned off, download another copy, and we should see once again that we have both the column headers and the account names repeating on every page. And our report should be easier to read, but this time in 1 step instead of 2. And there we are, another easy breezy to read report. So now we know how to split panes so that we can repeat our column headers here. But when we create these panes, it repeats everything in the top pane. And there may be times when you want to repeat just the column headers here, and you may not necessarily need all of the report headers at the top of every subsequent page. And we can actually tell Qvinci to repeat just a portion of this top pane. So we want to go above this headers that we want to keep here, and we want to type in 2 pound symbols. And these pound symbols basically tell Qvinci to repeat only what is below the pound. So in this case, the column headers. So we'll go ahead and save a copy of this. We'll take a look at what this looks like on an actual report. You'll see the first page we have the report headers and the column headers. But on the subsequent page, we have only the column headers and we don't repeat the report headers here. And now you are a master of repeating column headers and account names.